Hey, what's going on, everybody? Got a special guest with me here today. We on another episode of Military to Civilian, man. We got my boy Purvis back from Germany. What it do, bro?
What's good, Mike? How you
Nah,
living?
hey man, I'm living good, man. You know what I'm saying? We away from the slave ship as we used to call it, man. But
Right,
we
right.
doing good, bro. We doing good, man. Appreciate you being here today. How you doing?
Of course, bro. On the clock right now, living, no
Living the
complaints.
dream, bro.
Yeah,
So, hey, for everybody listening, man, let everybody know. Obviously, you Army boy, because
yeah.
that's how we got down. But let everybody know, like, a little bit about your backstory. Maybe what made you join the military. Where'd you end up traveling to while you were in, and just take us up to like a couple of your duty stations, wherever you want to go, leading up to your getting out the Army.
Okay. Yeah. I want to say it was like 2011. I tried to join the Air Force. I think I was
Okay.
like 175, best shape of my life. Like I two-sport athlete, playing football, lacrosse. Tried to join the Air Force, couldn't get in contact with a recruiter. Finally, I got in contact with an Air Force recruiter. Buddy told me I was overweight. And I'm looking at myself like I'm a two-sport athlete. Like, what you mean? I feel like I was in the best shape of my life, other than basic and like deployments, of course. But then I was just like, all right, cool. Decided to join the Army. Basically, I joined the military because I got a lot of family members that retired from the military, or that's what started their career off to set them up to where they are today.
Okay.
So joined the military 2012, did AIT, Fort Lee and Fort Sam. Then I went to Germany where I met Mike Daly.
Yes,
So
sir.
we all clicked. I think I got to Germany January 13. Yeah, January 2013. We went through that whole Hohensfeld experience together. Then we popped smoke, went to Afghanistan that summer. Of course, we already know how that experience is by itself.
Yeah.
Um, Came back, then that's when like we all built a bond with each other. Like the whole DFAC crew, everybody. It's too many names to name.
For real.
Stories that is crazy. While we was in Germany, of course, like partying it up, living it up. Some of us might have got in trouble, some of us might not have. We're gonna leave that one
Yeah.
alone. Um, Traveled. I went to where I go when I was in Germany. I went to Prague. I went to Austria, Edelweiss. But majority of the time was like spent traveling around Germany. That's one thing that I did say. Like if I ever had the chance to go back to Germany, then I would definitely love to travel outside of Europe, other than like the partying in Germany, because you know how we did it.
Yeah.
Like, for the most part, it was just like traveling in Europe, but we they had, you remember in the barracks that they had the little posters going around like for the single soldier retreats or whatever, going to
Yeah.
like
The boss trips or
Budapest.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a dope experience. Germany was probably my favorite duty station, hands down, because it was my first duty station and it was my first time being away from family 100%. And that's why I feel like soldiers really build the camaraderie and get to really experience bonding with each other and starting that family with your whoever you're going through the ground with at that time.
Yeah. What'd you end up doing after you got back? You re-enlisted when you got back when you're in when we were in Afghanistan, or did you do that when we got back and when did you leave Germany?
I remember it was like, no, it wasn't in Afghanistan. It was when I got back to Germany, I extended, and like I said, that was my first time being away from family. So I was like, yo, I got to get back home. I'm from Northern Virginia area, Woodbridge. So I was like, I got to get back home. I forgot the retention at the time, but I went and talked to her, and she was like, hey, you can extend. So I extended for 4-story Virginia Beach. Because I was like, at that time I was like, yo, I gotta reclass. At that time, the defect was like a lot of the personnel that we saw was like it was crabs in a bucket. We had some solid E6s like yourself.
Yeah.
But other than that, like you, Lively, who else? Gaddis. Uh, what was the one that hung out with Gaddis like that?
Uh,
Because it was two of them.
man, I know she went warrant
Rogers,
officer.
Rogers.
Roger, she went warrant officer, I think.
Yeah, all three of them went warrant. They all
Oh,
warrants
yeah.
now.
Oh, they all did. Yeah.
Yeah, they all
Coleman
got
is
their
too.
stuff. Yeah, Coleman. I just got off the FaceTime with Coleman. He hit it. He just signed into Fort Bragg, actually.
Oh, damn, is he airborne?
No. He not airborne. He just went to he's getting stationed with 13th ESC.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool, man.
he on the grind and everything. But yeah, so had some solid people and shit and stuff. Sorry.
Oh, you good.
Okay, yeah, had some solid people and shit. Then I extended for Fort Story. That was the only place in the like DC, Maryland, Virginia area that I could get stationed at or where people was at. So
Okay.
while at Fort Story, I think I was there for like a year and like a couple months. And then that's when I reached out to the people that we met in Germany, Thurman, Baldwin, all of them boys, and I asked them about artillery. And they told me like basically it's field artillery. You're gonna go to the field, you're gonna hump, you're gonna do all of that. So I want to say it was like 2000 and because I got back to the States January 15, and I want to say it was August 16. I reclassed the 13 Bravo. So got to Fort Campbell, your home.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's where I started off at, man. Yeah.
yeah, and you know how Campbell is like hard
Whew.
charging, hard pushing,
Yeah.
field deployments, like it's
PT.
constantly moving.
Yeah.
So got to Campbell. Campbell, hands down, my second favorite duty station. Uh, Once again, it was a lot of camaraderie, but this camaraderie was different, like than the Germany camaraderie, because the Germany camaraderie was like we partying together, we doing all of this stuff together. But in Campbell, it was like, yo, we really in the field for like 25 days with each other,
Yeah.
sucking like the whole 9 yards. At Campbell, I did, of course, we all got to do air assault once you get to Campbell.
Yeah.
So I was field artillery there. I was there from 16 to 21. During
Okay.
that time, we did a GRTC rotation. We deployed to Iraq in 19 to 20. While I was in Iraq, I was at Al Assad. It was like so that deployment was different than the deployment we went on together. That deployment was like real heavy artillery. It wasn't like nothing else like what we deal with in Afghanistan. It was nothing like that. It was just like from a distance type of war.
Yeah.
So that was a decent experience. Lost a couple soldiers doing that as well from the Afghanistan one. You know, Sarn Will and all of
Yeah,
them.
dude, that damn helicopter crashing, man, that shit was messed up.
Yeah, that was deep, bro. That was rough times, of course.
Seriously, dude. Right there, RSS, bro. He was like he like lived in the I remember I met him as soon as I moved to Germany when I got stationed there. We lived in the same barracks over there, man. He was cool as shit, man. Jesse Williams, dude, from Michigan.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Sarn Will.
For
That was
real.
the roughest jump because I remember go back to the Afghanistan deployment. Well, we was convoy security, so
Yeah, your
uh,
boy Razak. Look, he about to jump out that C-17 behind me. Look, man, he about to jump out. Look.
hey, yeah,
Y'all
raise
boys
that
about to get on. Hey, part of this.
I wonder where he at now.
Bruh, he probably running CST somewhere, man. I don't know, man.
Definitely, he's somewhere crazy. But I remember like Sarn Will, we lost him what the beginning. I got his bracelet right here. What we lost him beginning of December? Yeah, December 17th. And for
And
the
Chief
CS,
too, the chief that we had that was in RSS, I think too.
yeah, Chief B. That
Yeah.
was a little later on. I want to say that was like January. They fought Passad. You remember that got
Yeah, they got overran or whatever, VBED or whatever. That's your boy where Gardner was at, dude.
Yeah, that was Gardner. Yeah, that is
Gardner and fucking and what was his name, man? That was looked like Macaulay Culkin, bro.
bro. Chill.
You know what I'm talking about, man.
I know exactly who you talking about.
I'll think of his name later. It's on the tip of my tongue, but no, go ahead.
But yeah, we was doing the convoy security, and it was like the holiday time frame. So we was playing like the Santa Claus thing with the aviation unit out of Riley, and the Sarn Will stuff happened, and I was like, I remember Sarn Alanese. I was like, Sarn Alanese, I'm not going on no planes. I'm not going on no helicopters. Like, you can't pay me enough to do this mission. Like, I just can't do it. I don't got it in me because we just lost Sarn Will like a week before, and I couldn't find it in myself. And he was just like, he was like, I don't care what you say. You going. Like, this is your mission. You signed up for it. You going. And then I remember the day before, the morning of the flight that we were supposed to take, he was like, Purvis. I think I was like a PFC at this time, maybe a PV2. But he was just like, Purvis, how you feeling? You going? And I was like, nah, sorry, I can't do it. Like, I don't have it in me. Like, I didn't get on the flight until I got to Fort Campbell. I want to say like 2000, and it wasn't even when I first got to Campbell. It was like 2017. I did the mapping of the earth, on airsoft school.
Yeah.
But other than that, I did not get on no helicopter. I was frightened. I don't know. I couldn't find it in me just because of that. That like scarred me forever. But yeah, like Afghanistan, we lost. I think what is it? I forgot which unit it was. It was one of the infantry units. They was cleaning the saws. They lost a guy in Syria. Then we lost Riley. Rest in peace, Riley. He right outside of the talk at Key West shot himself in the head.
Damn.
Crazy. So yeah, got back from that. Well, while I was down there, my uncle he does IT. So he's like high up in the IT world. And he was like, yo, you need to look at like when it's time for you to get out the military. Because the military always gonna be there, but it's only one of you. You know how it goes. So I was like, all right, cool. And that's when I reclassed to 25 Bravo IT specialist when I was in Iraq. And that I think that was like the changing moment in my career to where it was just like, do I still need the Army? Like, the Army always there. We make a lot of sacrifices for it. Nothing against it, of course.
Yeah.
But it was just like, one day is going to come and we all going to be out the military, but we got to have something to fall back on.
Most definitely.
So that was the biggest thing. I think that was the biggest and best move that I made in my military career.
Okay.
And then of course, like, while going to college, trying to make sure I got my degree before I got out and everything. And then reclass to 25 Bravo down there in Marietta, Georgia. And then my first duty station was, I did not want to go to Korea, but that was where I was at. I was.
Where'd you go? What part did you go to?
I went to Camp Humphreys.
Oh man, they get down over there. You would have went there to cook. You would have been hurting. I heard horror stories of cooks going to Korea. Dude.
Oh yeah, you remember?
We had it pretty bad in Germany. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we worked hard, bro, and a lot. But I heard I heard Korea got down. So
yeah, Korea was a different beast too. It was just like Germany, except for like when I went to Korea, they didn't have curfew. Curfew went away.
Okay.
So it was just like Germany. So it wasn't like the Korea what everybody else experienced. They getting drunk at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they was dealing with. You remember in Germany, we ain't had no curfew, so we was out partying it up and stuff.
You get the first train back at 5, or you getting a taxi back in the middle of the night if you can't make it, or you staying out, or you coming back the next day, man.
I hope you make Cook's Mount.
Or you make Cook Mount, man. We always gotta make it, man. Go to Pearl on Wednesday all night. Come back.
Hey, yes.
Go right to the defect, man.
Flashback, the one, all of that. Remember that?
Still made it happen, though, man. All the people out there saying you can't get up, man. Cook's making it happen, dude.
Yeah, it made it happen no matter what, bro. 100% definitely made it happen. The cooks in Germany was just, it was wild times, bro. Like, we had some stories, like the story of all stories. But I think that's what built our camaraderie even stronger, to where it was like where we could come to you and ask you for anything or talk to you about anything that's going on in our personal life, other than like just finding ourselves in the bottle and having fun and traveling the world and stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you gotta make yourself like approachable as leader, man. I'm sure you did that once you were going up the ranks, and your soldiers respect you for that. Because, dude, everyone's gonna take the army uniform off or the military uniform. At the end of the day, you're still a person, right? Like, you're gonna earn that respect when you just give it to somebody. But that was never a problem, man. I'm sure you've seen people get that E5 and they just go on a power trip, dude. So it's like,
act like they're not human no more.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of like Captain Commando, and those are the same people that get out and they can't leave the military behind, man.
Yep.
So you reclassed twice. I didn't know you reclassed to 25 Bravo, dude. That's cool. I knew you were doing something in the IT. So like, obviously your uncle gave you some sound advice.
Oh yeah.
You listened to him. You could have been stubborn, but like, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna do this. But like, at least you took his words to heart. And then like, so what'd you do? So you went to Korea. Then what'd you do?
When I went to Korea, in the IT world, like especially in the military government side, any federal, you got to make sure that you got Security Plus to make sure that like you in compliance and you could 100% do your job. Okay. So got Security Plus, went to Korea. Then I got stationed at Fort Detrick, Maryland. I was like, I want to get back home again. I love the DMV. So I
Yeah.
got stationed back home. And when I got there, COVID is still going around. And I was just like, I think I signed in from leave on like the beginning of December. And then I didn't go to work until like April. They was waiting. It was different military at this time.
Okay.
Real civilian heavy. Like 21st Signal Brigade is like crazy civilian heavy. Like your senior raider is a civilian. Like no, your
What?
raider's a civilian. Your senior raider's a civilian. Like it was like a culture shock to me, bro.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, I was just like, what is this? And then like everything was done like civilian, and the civilians wouldn't allow us to like create accounts and stuff because job security, of course. And I
Right.
remember getting there and I'm like, yo, I talked to the civilian guy and I'm like, hey, can I get a admin token so I could help create accounts, make sure ATCTS good, the whole 9 yards. And he like, nah, you can't do that. And I'm like, why not? And then he never really gave me an answer because it was so civilian heavy. So I was just like, my whole military career, I've been doing the job that I signed up for. Like whatever job that I was at that time, I was doing the job that I signed up for, or doing like a really good job. But then I got there and I wasn't doing anything. Excuse me. I was doing like schools. And I'm like, what? I'm working in S3, like it's like 825 Bravos deep in S3 and operations. And we like just handling like little stuff like that. And I'm just like, I'm not really feeling this. So then I get curious and I'm like, yeah, I think it's about time for me to step out. So before I got out, I had to make sure, I made sure I had my degree. I got my bachelor's degree from AMU
Okay.
in Korea. And then I made sure that I had some certs. And of course, we got our clearance. So I knew that I'm from DC, Maryland, Virginia area, government hub. I knew it wouldn't be too difficult for me to find a job, especially IT. Like IT is always booming. So I just took it on myself and just applied pressure like those last year and a half, and just made sure like I'm just checking the block. Network is key. Like, gotta talk to everybody, bro. You already know how I am. Like I can hold a conversation with anybody. So that's how I was. It was just like networking, make sure my LinkedIn good. And then I want to say it was like my last 9 months in, the military got a new program called Skill Bridge. I'm not for sure if that was around when you was in.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Go ahead. Tell me about it. I don't think
so Skill Bridge is basically like your last 180 to 90 days in the military. You can do an internship with like one of these companies out here in the world, whatever company if you're choosing. It's usually easier if they're already DoD approved. If not, then it's like 2 paperwork that got to get signed and brought up to like whoever your Skill Bridge coordinator is on post.
Okay.
So I'm reaching out to companies. A lot of companies is telling me like, hey, you too far out right now. You hit us up in a month, like yada yada yada. Like you check all the boxes, your resume look good, like everything looks good, but you just too far out. So I want to say it was like the middle of September. I reached out to who I'm working with now, Bowen, and I reached out to Bowen and I applied, submitted my resume. Thank God the part of Bowen that I'm working with is like really huge on F-15s, F-18s, the MQ-25s. Like it's really big on the government sector side of the world. So my cyber manager, he's actually a retired lieutenant colonel from the Air Force. So the recruiter reached back out to me after I submitted my application and my resume and all of that stuff. And she was like, hey, the hiring manager at Bowen in St. Louis, where I'm currently at, they're really interested in you and your resume is really strong. So would you be interested in an interview? So I was like, yeah, of course. Give him my contact information. Then he could reach out to me whenever. He calls me literally like 24 hours later. And it wasn't like an interview. It was more so like of a selling pitch, like him just telling me about the job, the work-life balance. And that was something that I really wanted to make sure that I focused on when I got out the military is work-life balance. Because, in the military, we bust your ass 24/7. You don't get to go home for family events, the whole 9 yards.
Right.
So that was something that I was really, really big on, was like the work-life balance. So when he told me the work-life balance was coming into the office, you only got to be in the office 2 days a week for 16 hours. So 8-hour days. So I'm like, what? This is crazy. Like the military would never. So I was just like, all right, I think I'm gonna accept this position. So that's when I had to come up with the coordination of like travel on my own, like where am I going to stay at out here? If I'm already pulled a plug and get an apartment, if I'm gonna stay at friends at Fort Campbell, because Fort Campbell only 4 hours away. So I reached back out to my buddy Devin. He was artillery with me, and he told me that I could stay with him and just make the commute or whatever. And then so I only had to come into the office 2 days a week. So I came in Tuesday and Wednesday, and Monday, Thursday, Friday during the internship, I will work from home. So fast forward, like the end of January, my time in the military, like it's time for me to start terminal leave. Of course, like getting the butterflies, you know, you got seniors. I got out as an E6, so I got I was supposed to get looked at 7 in February, bro. And I'm pretty sure I would have made it. Like I would have had a low number and everything because my records was good.
Yeah.
And I got the seniors talking to me, bro. And you know how they are. They're like, oh, if you get out, like, you don't know what you're going to do. You're not going to make X, Y, Z amount of money.
Yeah.
You know, like the pampering of the military.
Right.
But you know how it works. Like from both our background, like you got to bet on yourself. Like that's the biggest thing, is just betting on yourself.
You have to. Yeah.
And that's exactly what I did. So I started terminal leave like January 28th. And my ETS date was March 11th.
Right.
During that time, I started working at Boeing. So I was doing an internship from the beginning of November to the end of January. I accepted the position like right before Christmas time frame. That was like a Christmas present to myself.
Yeah.
I applied for like jobs at Lockheed Martin, and I applied for jobs with Boeing. Those are the only 2 big companies that I actually applied for a job for and not an internship. Lockheed Martin reached back out. I got the job with them as well. This was in Arizona and in California. It was like right outside LA. I want to say like northeastern of LA. I can't remember, but the price that they was like the salary that they offered me for LA and Phoenix was the exact same amount. And everybody know Cali. Like Cali.
Yeah.
So I was just like, that wouldn't be a smart move for me to get out the military and go to California, and the cost of living is out the roof, and I'm only making like $87,000 a year. And I was just like, nah, I can't do that. And Phoenix was the same thing. And then Boeing, so I was like, I had to weigh my options out. And Boeing cost of living, they was offering me 6 figures, a sign-on bonus for cyber. So I'm an ISO, information security system officer. So I was like, that's going to be the one. And the cost of living here in St. Louis is a lot
cheap, dude. Wait, yeah, you're gonna look. Your money's gonna go way longer there. That's great.
And that's what I thought about during that time. And I was just like, so I wrote back Lockheed Martin and I told them like, hey, I think I'm gonna go with another position. I appreciate the offer. And you know, they reached back out, say like, hey, if you ever change your mind, and just reach back out to us. I didn't change my mind. I stuck it out here at Boeing. I've been working with Boeing since February. It's definitely a learning curve. The transition. So like everything may sound sweet, but like the transition from getting out the military to being in the military is like totally different. Because I feel like in the military we pamper. You can live paycheck to paycheck in the military because you got the DFAC.
You got your barracks, you got your DFAC. You're not gonna have, a soldier, from a soldier's perspective. Yeah, you got the DFAC, you get the barracks. You're not gonna go hungry, and you're not gonna go without shelter, right? In the civilian
100%.
world, that could happen the day you get out.
Yes, bro. And the biggest thing is like your supportive system. Like you got to make sure you got a strong support system, regardless if that's friends, family, military friends, network and mentors, whoever it is. You just got to make sure you got a solid support system. So like I'll be honest, the hardest thing for me right now is like, I'm used to moving around because of the military. I've been to like 5, 6 duty stations and 10.5 years, close to 11 years, because my 11-year mark was May 21st. That's what it would have been, but I already got out. Okay. So that was the biggest thing, was like the transition and PCSing I looked at this move as like a PCS move, but it's not a PCS move because in the military, you know, no matter what duty station you go to, you may know one person.
Yeah.
Like, so you already gonna have that bond with somebody. Out here, like, I came out here and I didn't know nobody. I took a chance on myself. I gambled. All my family on the East Coast, so it's like 100% Marquise right now.
Yeah.
Now that's honestly the biggest thing, and like really focusing on yourself and really. I got a lot of alone time because at the moment I only work in the office Tuesday and Wednesdays. I mean Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then I'll work from home Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it's like in the office, it's not everybody's days is totally different.
Yeah.
So you're not there every day with everybody. But the thing that I do like about Boeing in the sector that I'm in is it's veteran heavy. I want to say like 95% of the personnel that I'm working with is all veterans, regardless if that's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, no matter what. And you know, no matter what branch you was in, we still got that bond.
Yeah, most definitely.
We all went through some type of suck together. You feel me?
Yep.
So that's what really sold me with Boeing as well. And I think that's the cool part because like I can hit them up. I'm building that rapport with them, like getting closer with them type stuff. But it's still like a harder transition because I can't say I'm living paycheck to paycheck or I'm broke right now. I can't go to the DFAC. Like I gotta suck myself. Like I gotta figure out how I'm gonna eat. I got a cafeteria at work, but you still gotta pay for that. Like, right. So it's like totally different. Then something I didn't realize is like, you know how like only our base pay is getting taxed. So E6, I want to say I was making like 47,000 before BAH and BAS. So it's like that's the only portion that was getting taxed. BAH and BAS not getting taxed. Right. Now I'm making over six figures. Everything's getting taxed. You paying for insurance. You paying for you got to contribute to your 401k. What else you got to do? Here in St. Louis, I live downtown, so I'm paying St. Louis taxes. I'm paying downtown taxes. Like all of this stuff is coming out of your check, and you really don't notice this in the military because health insurance isn't coming out of our check at all.
Right.
You have a choice to contribute to your TSP, but how many of the soldiers that's in the military actually doing it? Like I'm granted, me and you did it, but like some of them didn't do it. So it's like a lot more. It's a lot more pampered in the military, you know. Like your experience.
You get hit, you get slapped in the face pretty good when you get out if you don't know what you got going on, man. Because like I was telling you earlier, dude, I got out. I mean, I had a job lined up, but like you said, going from an NCO and then like you're making like decent money, you know, 60,000 or whatever. If you got good BAH living in Fort Carson, bro, I ended up coming out having a kid and man, life hit me in the mouth, dude. So you're definitely absolutely right about having a plan. And even if you get a job making six figures, if you go somewhere like California or even where you're at, dude, like that money, it's a lot, but you're getting taxed at one of the highest rates. You're making over 1% of the population makes 100,000 or more. So you're in the top 1% of earners. But if you don't know how to budget, you don't know how to do all that stuff, that's going to lead you down a whole nother trail. But nah, man, it seems like you went through a pretty good pretty good transition, but how'd the medical side of things look at? We already know how sick call was frowned upon and blah, 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 you know, like that. But like, how'd your medical side go? Did you end up were you good when you were like field artillery or like, what's that look like?
Yeah. So of course, you know, a lot of medical background, like because of the military, Afghanistan, all the duty stations, Iraq, all of that. Currently I'm still going through my disability claims and everything. Actually, I finished like all of them except for behavioral health the beginning of April. Okay. Now I got my behavioral health on January 5th on Monday. So we're going to see how everything go. But my last, of course, like you said, like it was frowned upon. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't go to sick call until I got to Fort Campbell. Now at this time, I'm an E5, so I'm an NCO. You already know, like us NCOs, we got a lot of pride. We want to be out there with our soldiers doing PT. So that was the first time I went to sick call. And I think it was like after airsoft school, training up for the guys, training the other guys up. Because at this time, I'm field artillery. It's all males. It's no females yet. Until like 2 years after I get into field artillery, at least at Fort Campbell and my battery and my battalion and all of that. So it was like I remember going through and processing at Campbell, Kalsu, you know. Kalsu. Yep. And the first sergeant, he was field artillery, and he actually was in my unit. At the time when he was there, the battalion was called Balls of the Eagle, but they had to change it political, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So they changed it to Proud Americans. So he talking to me and he like, hey, who's field artillery? Who's going to 232? I raised my hand and he like, hey, all right, after formation, you guys come to my office and we're gonna talk. And he's just talking to us about like a solid first sergeant. I mean, now he's a sergeant major. He about to retire, Sergeant Major Smith. And he was just telling us like, no matter what people say, first sergeant major, however much rank they got, however low rank they got, don't let them like try to turn you away towards going to sick call. Like, you got to start documenting your stuff because that's what's going to be your bread and butter when you get out the military. So thank God that I listened to him and I actually started processing it and didn't care what other people thought of me, regardless. And I put myself first. That's the biggest thing. Like, when you injured, you got to take care of yourself because you can't lead troops if you injured. Like,
yeah,
man, they ain't gonna look right for you.
Yeah, most definitely. You just hurting everybody. You bringing everybody down. But dude, good for you. That's awesome that someone did that. Like that first sergeant did that, dude, because no one did that in Germany, man. And we're not calling nobody out. We're just being real, dude. Like anyone that got out of the military from Germany, did anyone say, hey, dude, you gotta make sure you go do that?
Nope.
No.
Then
make sure you get this DFAC for Cooks Mountain 04. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying, like you got to work 2 8-hour days. Dude, we're working 12, 14-hour days in the DFAC on the weekend, bro. It's like, that's cool. That's what we signed up for. We're not throwing a pity party. We're just saying, like, time goes by, man. People aren't really worried about what's happening on the other side of the rock, dude. Like, they're worried about going to PT and stuff like that. So okay, question for you. When you got out, when you ETS, dude, what did that look like? Because obviously, did you like get to go see a VA service provider like to try to get your claims going, or did you sort of just like miss that, or was that not allotted to you, or what that look like?
So I want to say it's like 180 to 90 days left in the military. You can do your BDD claim.
Yeah.
So it was a little rough for me because I was out here in St. Louis. I was still trying to make sure, like, playing catch up, making sure all of my medical documents is documented.
Yeah.
And I was at Fort Campbell at the time, and I called them. And I want to say it was like, I don't remember like the exact number of days I had left, but I called them and I was like, hey, I want to file my BDD claim. I called the VSO rep, and the VSO rep was just like, hey, you're not going to be able to do it until you get he was like, wait till you get your DD 214. And actually at the moment, I only have appointments like after your 90-day mark, and that you'll miss your BDD claim. So that kind of messed me up because of the BDD claim starts it's like at the point where your last military check hit like March 15th mine, and then your VA check hit April 1st. So it's like you're never missing a check. But I wasn't able to do that.
Okay.
So I went to the VSO rep. Actually, here in St. Louis, I Googled the Veterans Affairs. So I went straight to the Veterans Affairs building, and I didn't know it was the actual VA people I was talking to, like starting my claim.
Yeah.
So it was like, I forgot. It was like some random lady. And like, what's really helpful is like a lot of those VA reps, not all of them, because the first VA rep that I dealt with, she wasn't in the military. But then the second one that I dealt with, he was in the military. And he told me like, hey, look, I understand that you got all this stuff documented and the whole 9 yards, but don't go straight to the VA. Like, granted, you can go to like one of the, what is it? I got one of the cards right
American
here.
Legion for Veterans of Foreign Wars.
Yeah, DAV, like Wounded all of Warrior, that. Yeah, Wounded Warriors.
Just
like,
make sure that they're accredited. You know what I mean? There's people out there that aren't doing it, but you're right though. There's other options. You don't have to go straight to the VA. Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're gonna fight for you. They're gonna fight for that percentage that you deserve. And so I went through the DAV, all my medical files. Like, something that was very important was just like making sure. I want to say like 9 months before you get out, you go to the TMC and you get your medical file and you review it, and make sure that like everything that you went through or that you went to the doctors for is actually documented. Now, before like that, I want to say like I would start it at like 120, then I will pull it again at 120 days left in the military to make sure again that it's in there. And then if it's all in there, then you're good to go. So thank God that I had my first sergeant at Dietrich. He actually told me like, and a bunch of the seniors, they was all like getting ready to be out the door, retiring, whatever the case may be, med boarding. So they all told me like, make sure your medical records is matching up with everything. So
Yeah.
thank God that I had those personnel telling me about that. So everything that I claimed was in my medical record. Every single thing that I ever went to the TMC for, thank God it was in there. So but I didn't know whatever file that they send to the VA and whatever file you get is different, because the one that they sent to the VA, like sleep apnea, for instance, we all got it.
Yeah.
And the VA was like, hey, we don't have it in here about your sleep apnea test. And I did this in 2017 at Campbell.
Okay.
Excuse me. And they was like, hey, we don't have it. So I went on I saved my documents to my laptop. And I went through my file and I like, come on, man. I know I got it in here. I got the machine. I got everything. I got pills for it. So
yeah.
I'm freaking like almost freaking out. But then I find it is in my medical file. And I'm like, that's weird. I don't know why it's not in the VA's, because this is like my 100% medical file. So I just send it over to them. And like, so far, bro, it's been like a walk through the park. Granted, the VA, like they taking their time, dragging their feet with it. But also, I think right now they said because of that, the Burn Pit Act, did you sign up for that?
Yeah. I got on a listing or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So right now they like backed up, but I don't care because the VA, they're gonna back pay you from day one.
Exactly.
So that's just the process what I'm going through now. I finally got seen at the VA. I want to say it was I went to the VA like March 16th to like get registered through the hospital and like start that process. And it was like 2 months, bro. They haven't called me or nothing. So I just went up there and I'm almost out of like, whatever medications that I take. So I just go up in there and I talk to the lady and I'm like, hey, I'm curious about my appointment. Like I haven't been called yet. Like nobody reached out to me. None of that stuff already been enrolled in e-benefits, like the whole 9 yards. And then she called back there and they like, yeah, just keep waiting. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna be honest, like I'm almost out of my medications. And God's honest truth, I was literally almost out of my medications. And they was just like, hey, we gotta get this VA member up in here ASAP, because that's your medication. But whatever you gotta do to stretch the truth, to let the VA know, like, I need to be seen. My medications is about to run out. Just so you could be seen, man, you have to do that. Because if not, she was telling me that I was going to be waiting 6 months to when I got out of the military. And I'm just like, 6 months. Granted, we got our, what is it, the transitional TRICARE or whatever.
Yeah.
But like even myself, like a lot of us don't even know how that works, or like what's the process to re-up on our medications or anything like that. Talk to your therapist if you're talking to a therapist, whatever the case may be. So it's just like, you got to get yourself enrolled in the VA. That is very important. So I got enrolled in the VA, saw my primary care, saw my therapist, the whole 9 yards, get seen for chiropractor, how that whole showdown goes. So thank God that it's veterans helping veterans like yourself, like every veteran or prior NCO, soldier, whatever, that's feeding me information, mentor, that's just helping me along the way, that's just telling me, because it's a bunch of stuff that I didn't know. And SFL TAP ain't telling us half of this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, some people have good experience, some people don't have good experience. Then they got executive level taps for like E9s or something like that and above. I've heard a couple, like I never even knew they had that, but no, you're right though. That's what it's about, man. Just getting in, passing the information, helping each other and stuff like that. Because like, yeah, granted you had a job lined up, but it's like still, it's tit for tat, dude. Like you got your job lined up, but it's like, damn, now you're going through the hurdles of trying to get your disability straight. But you could have got it straight before you left, but now you're going through it. But like, at least, you're doing it. You're doing it, dude. That's the main thing. You're taking action on everything. You could just sit around and say, man, I forgot to do it, so I'm not going to do it. I don't deserve it. So it's like, it's nice to hear that you're not doing that, because man, I've talked to dude, Sergeant Lyles. Remember, was he there when you were there? Or did he leave? Okay, he was there. That's my boy, man. I always tell him, dude, and yo, you got to go. But everyone gets the ball going. Like my other buddy from Campbell, he didn't go either for 5 years after he got out. He got out and got 100% first time go. So it's like, just got to do it, man. We're not in there lying. You've been to war.
Yeah,
you've been. You know what I'm saying? Like, just get what's yours, man. Get what's for your family and you. But As what do you wish you would have known like before you got out? What's something that you could tell somebody, or like you would tell your old self before you got out if you had the time?
I wish somebody talked to us about the real transition, like how to make sure that you have your therapy like signed up through the VA before you get up, or you sign up for a therapist before you get out. Like I feel that you should go through that VA process before you get out the military, so it's a smooth transaction
Yeah,
and a smooth transition too. So it's just like it's no missing days or anything. That's the biggest thing that I want to say that like I wish that the military did, and like I wish they taught us about like, bro, I got out the military. I joined the military at 21, so that's around the age where you get off your parents' insurance.
yeah,
So I didn't know what insurance. I didn't know how to sign up for insurance. Like, granted, I get insurance through Bowen, but I didn't know like it's like 5 different options. What's insurance to pick? What is it? It's like a H something, like the insurance savings or whatever. Like,
yeah.
bro, in the military, we don't know nothing about that. Our CAC card is our CAC is our insurance card. So it's like
Pretty much, yeah.
they didn't teach us nothing about that. Like, I wish we like learned about insurance. Like the military, we do our taxes, like we sign like whatever tax form when we first get in the military. Like, but other than that, we don't know about taxes in the military. You don't know about like budgeting money. Like it's like all of those things that we did not know about in the military. And then the military is what pampered us, because we know we're getting a check every 1st and 15th, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
We getting paid. We got insurance. We got the DFAC, like stuff like that, and the stuff that a lot of soldiers take for granted. Even myself, like that, I didn't expect, like budgeting my money. 32 years old, just now trying to start to budget my money and realize, like, see where my money's going, making sure that I'm good. Like, all right, I got X amount going to my 401k. I got X amount going to my savings. I got X amount in my check-ins. But it's little stuff like that that nobody talks about in the military whatsoever, unless you're an officer. Now you're an officer, then they teaching you like how stocks and bonds and
Yeah.
all of that stuff, but they didn't teach us enlisted none of that stuff. It's like I don't know, it's just like a lot that's missing in that gap between enlisted and officer that we don't get taught. And that's the biggest thing, is just like, man, I wish they would have taught us those life skills that we didn't know because the mission was too important, or whatever the case may be. You got to deploy or go to JRTC. Like, that was the biggest thing from my point of view.
No, that's interesting to hear, because you're right. Like, they do all the training for the military, but it's like if you want to have people be a soldier like for 20 years, something like that, you'd figure they'd bring other people in, even if it's not even military people, bring experts in to give a wellness class on finance or something like that. But that's pretty interesting to actually think about that. Who knows what they do? I know, like, who knows, man? Like you said, they got taps, they got this, they got that, but sometimes
Yeah,
it's
they don't
just
teach
check
you
the
this
box, dude. Sometimes it's just hey, go there, sign off, do this, do that. But
checking the box.
hey, man, we getting through it though. Shoot, it seems like you thriving, dude. Like, you got a nice job. You do, you don't have to go into the DFAC 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It's like, dude, after going through all that stuff, man, like, bro, the worst days are behind you as far as the workload, dude. Like, we've already sucked it up pretty bad, so it's like, man, this is pretty easy, dude. Like, I've had
100%.
some pretty, yeah. How would you describe your military career in one word?
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing. No matter what, like, I think I know the good outweighed the bad. You building that bond, friends is turning into family. Y'all going through the suck together. You get to see some amazing places for free. Granted, some of the places is not where you want to go on vacation.
Yeah.
But I still think it's a dope experience. You get to travel the world. I graduated with my bachelor's degree. No debt whatsoever. I have no debt for college whatsoever. Now I got my GI Bill, and I'm looking at colleges for my master's degree in cybersecurity, and that's going to be free as well because I got my GI Bill. But I would definitely say amazing, bro. It was a dope experience. I learned a lot from everybody that I encountered. Too many people to name. Too many. I'm gonna name you because you right here. But it was, other than you, it's too many people to name. But it was a great experience learning about different cultures, different backgrounds, different people from all over the world that joined the military. Yeah. I got best friends now that they didn't meet an African-American person until they joined the military. Now I'm their best friend. So like, it's just, I think it's dope, man. It's a mixing pot,
Yeah. Oh
100%.
yeah. Hey, on that note for your masters, dude, I don't know if you got any disability now, but when you do get service connected or if you already do have it, you can apply on va.gov for the Veterans Readiness and Employment Program. And what you can do is if you get approved from them, use that because it's like the GI Bill, but you're not gonna you can then use your GI Bill after because they passed a new law. So essentially you could like use voc rehab, get your master's, and you could go use your GI Bill and go to school for like business or whatever, whatever you want to go to school for. Just to get, it's like a people, you got to look at it like some people are hurting for money, but they're working these dead end jobs, but they refuse to use their school benefits.
Yes.
It's like, dude, go to school, man. Get tax free money, get paid to learn, dude. Like, go do something.
You get BAH with that?
Yes, sir. Based off your zip code. The same with the voc rehab, Veterans Readiness and Employment. You get BAH. You can get a free laptop. You get a free printer. You can get other stuff if you have disabilities that can that will fit your needs for the school. But it's an untalked about program, man. It's like a diamond in the rough. But I could tell you about it if you need to, man. Let me know.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely gonna have to chop it up because I heard of it referenced as VRNE.
Yep.
I didn't know that. I think what somebody told me was that like, oh, use your GI Bill because your GI Bill they'll pay you BAH, and VRNE doesn't pay you BAH.
No, they pay you BAH. Dude. There's 5 different tracks, but like if you just go for like job training or something like that, you're not going to get BAH. But if you get enrolled like in the employment, it's to help you. But the thing with you is like you already got a good job, so I don't know. Like it's a reemployment program. It's not like an education program, what some people think they are. But it's for people to get back in with disabilities to get back rehabilitated into the workforce. So it's like, I don't know. We'll have to talk. We'll talk offline on that. And we'll figure out the best case scenario because, they can't penalize you to say if you have a job, but if you say, hey, I got a job that I'm standing down or I'm doing this, it's irritating my disability. So I have to go get this job because this is going to help me in this way or something like that. Yeah. But, there's always a way, man. You got to get creative, but dude, it's like, you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, but hey, you wanna lead us on anything, or you want to tell anything to the listeners out there? So the floor is yours, man. If you want to.
I ain't really got nothing to say. Hey, I appreciate Mike having me here. I think this is definitely like a great opportunity for veterans to tell their story.
For sure.
For us to tell the world, one, but also the service members, no matter what branch that are transitioning. No matter what, ask the question, network, do the research. Like those are the 3 biggest things, man. Cause it's so many things that you don't know when you're transitioning that Mike might know, that I might know, that I might not know, but we know somebody that may know the answer or something like VRNE.
Somebody's gonna know the answer, dude. That's like you said. Somebody's gonna know the answer. Don't not open your mouth, man. Closed mouth don't get fed. Like you said, like dude, have your LinkedIn ready. Like that was a great idea too. And when we're veterans, you get a premium for free. If you didn't know that, I don't know exactly how to do off the top of my head, but
you get it for free.
Yeah, free every year. You just renew it, dude. LinkedIn's amazing, man. I've been posting this content and stuff like that on there, like invites. Bro, I'm talking like I created a calendar the other day and probably got like 10 or 15 people signed up, strangers the first day. So LinkedIn's got people that are professionals, that are veterans, and that are willing to help other veterans, willing to talk to other veterans. So if they're willing to talk to me, they're willing to talk to you, dude. Like you just 100%. if you don't ask, you're never gonna get an answer, dude. The worst thing they can do is either not respond or say no, or threaten me like some dudes did and said he's going to call have the FBI check the channel. So hopefully they're checking the channel right now and making sure that we're not doing nothing wrong because all we're doing is trying to bring awareness and wellness to the veterans community. But you got to love it, man. We love the haters. We love the motivators, bro. You know how we get down. But
veterans got to take advantage of these programs, man. It's so many amazing programs out here for us. Vet Tech is like, I'm in the tech industry or the tech world, and they offer free certs. Like, I think it's Onward the Opportunity where you get you get a free cert through like Syracuse University.
I did that. It's IBM. It's through the Institute of Veterans and Militaries and Families. It's like through Syracuse, but dude, they got Boots to Business. They got entrepreneur. They got EBV events. There's so much stuff out there, and that's just one entity. They're huge, but dude, even for something like you did, what would be your recommendation? That would want to get into that, like what you did, or you want to get on job with Boeing or just in the like be successful in the IT sector. I mean, it's, the gist of it I've got from a lot of you guys is certs, network, ask, but what else you got?
That's 100% true. That's 100% true. And get one of us that's in this career field to verify your resume.
Okay.
That's 100% true. And out here is not. It's this is my saying. I think it's 75% of who you know and 25% of what you know. Because if you got the right person that's already there, or you got that vet, it's a bunch of vets that's out here that's willing to take a chance and put their name on the line to get you the job or get you in front of the interview process to see what you know. Get your certs. Get Security Plus. That's a baseline cert. Make sure you get that. That's it. Get your certs. Make sure you're doing the stuff on your own time while you at home learning. That counts in the tech world. You know, if I'm at home doing labs, that counts as on the job experience.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that is the craziest thing. If I'm at home doing labs, I could put that down as on the job experience because I built this cloud server or I did XYZ. But that's it, bro. 100%. I definitely appreciate you having me here today.
For sure, dude.
Hey, let's continue to be great and help each other out.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And nice catching up with you. I'm glad you're doing well. And when I come see my boy Searcy in St. Louis, we'll link up, man. Maybe we go to a baseball game or something like that. But I'll get y'all in contact. He's a veteran too, man. So he's up your way.
Definitely plug me in.
All right, bro. But it was nice seeing you, man. So thanks for stopping by today.
And of course, bros. You too. Have a good day.
All right, you too.